Hey, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Shanae, and today I would like to show you how to make Swiss meringue buttercream. I absolutely love Swiss buttercream, and it's my go-to buttercream frosting for cakes and cupcakes, and you can also fill macarons with it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make basic vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream and also two variations of it, chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream and salted caramel buttercream. As you probably guessed, I absolutely adore salted caramel. I already have shared my video how to make homemade salted caramel, and if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it here. And also at the end of the video, I'll share troubleshooting tips on how to fix very common Swiss meringue buttercream issues. So if you are interested in learning, please stick around and let's get started. For this Swiss meringue buttercream, all you need is sugar, egg whites, butter, and salt. And vanilla, if you're making vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream, whatever flavorings you would like at the end, well, you can have that. Swiss meringue buttercream is basically is based on Swiss meringue. Meringue is made with sugar and egg whites, and Swiss method is when we add egg whites with sugar in a heat-proof bowl. In this case, I'm using my KitchenAid stand mixer bowl because it fits perfectly with this saucepan. And we will basically, I have a hot simmering water here. Let me turn it back on. And we'll cook the egg whites until the sugar is completely dissolved and the mixture is 160 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we will whip it on the mixer high speed until it's nice and fluffy meringue. We'll gently cook the egg whites with sugar. At the beginning, it will be really thick egg whites, but as you cook it, it will become runnier and runnier. And one thing about this recipe is make sure all your utensils and everything is grease-free. If you need to, you can wipe the bowl and whisks and everything with vinegar. I usually don't do that, but I wash my bowls and utensils really well with soap, and because and stainless steel and glass bowls are usually really good with getting rid of all the fats if you wash it properly. But the plastic bowls tend to absorb fat and keep the grease in it, so I would stay away from any plastic bowls for making meringue. And as I shared in my French meringue 101 video, egg whites hate fat. So any fat, grease, and even the egg yolks will ruin your meringue. You won't be able to achieve perfect meringue with if your egg whites were in contact with any fat or egg yolks. By the way, this recipe uses 6 egg whites, and if you need any recipe to use up all your leftover egg yolks, check out my video for egg yolk cookies. I already shared that a while back, and in that video I also shared a few other ways to use up egg yolks. So check that out. If you have a thermometer, I love using this quick Thermapen thermometer from ThermoWorks to check the egg white temperature. We are aiming for 160 degrees. We're not quite there yet, but if you don't have a thermometer like this, you can touch the egg whites between your 2 fingers, and then if you don't feel any sugar, that means the egg whites is ready. If it feels gritty, keep doing it and keep mixing, stirring, and I'll show you when the egg whites are ready. So it's pretty much ready. Yep, it reached 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and we can take it off and I'll show you the next step. And now we're going to whisk the egg whites into a meringue stiff peaks until it's cool to touch. It will take about 10 minutes on a medium-high speed. We'll gradually increase the speed from medium to medium-high, and I'll show you when the meringue is ready. So the meringue is ready. You want to see hard peaks like this, and another way to test it, you want to pull it down and it doesn't come out. And now we'll start adding butter. And also make sure, another point is the meringue is completely cooled. And now the most important part, we're going to start adding butter a little at a time. And the consistency of the butter is really important. You want softened butter, but it shouldn't be like super soft. Don't microwave it. Keep it on the room temperature for about an hour or two. And to check the consistency of your butter, you want to press on it, and it should make a dent, but it shouldn't fall apart. It shouldn't just go like, you know, there should be a little bit resistance. And now we'll keep the mixer running. Also, we'll add a little bit salt. Salt is always good in desserts. And we'll start adding butter about a tablespoon at a time, and make sure to keep the mixer running and wait for a little bit before adding the next tablespoon of butter. So all the butter is in, and I whipped it for a few more minutes, and it's super silky smooth and fluffy. Look at this. How gorgeous is that? The properly made Swiss meringue buttercream should be super light and fluffy, not overly sweet, and it should melt in your mouth right away without greasy, heavy feeling. If you do taste it, greasiness, or if you feel like it's too buttery for you, that means it just needs more whipping. So keep whipping until you don't taste that buttery, greasy feeling. Let's give it a try. It looks really fluffy though. Yeah, it's like meringue. Now at this point, you can add vanilla beans and switch to paddle attachment, or you can add melted chocolate. I have melted chocolate here. Or you can add salted caramel sauce. I'm going to divide this buttercream into two parts, and I'll show you chocolate version and salted buttercream versions. If you finish it off with a paddle attachment, you will remove excess air bubbles, air pockets, and it will be super smooth to frost the cakes, and it'll be easier, smoother texture. Now I'm adding melted chocolate. I'm using dark chocolate Ghirardelli. You can use bittersweet or semi-sweet chocolates as well. I don't like to add milk chocolate, but you can. But the milk chocolate just is, I feel like it's too sweet, and it doesn't give that nice rich color. It's ready. Chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream. It's so lusciously smooth and light. Look at that texture. Can you see this? It's so beautiful. I'm going to show you how it's piped, but let's make salted caramel Swiss meringue buttercream. It's just so good too. So I have my plain buttercream here, and I'm going to add about 4 ounces of salted caramel, because this is basically half batch. Normally, for the full batch of Swiss meringue buttercream, you would add 8 ounces of salted buttercream, salted caramel. And now I'm going to give it a whip. It's all done now. It doesn't take long. A minute or so is all it needs. Oh my goodness. I hope you can see the texture, how silky and smooth it is. I'll get you close and show you the real texture. Hope you can pick it up. It's so delicious. I'm going to give it a taste test. Oh my gosh. What am I going to do with this? I need to bake a cake. I'm going to try this. chocolate version was so good, you guys. You have to make it because it's so light. It doesn't taste like heavy buttercream flavor or anything like that. It's just so good. Now, let's talk about troubleshooting. There are a few very common issues come up with Swiss meringue buttercream, and the number one is soupy, super loose, runny buttercream. And that happens when your meringue is too warm and you start adding the butter. And basically what happens is your butter is melting, super soft, and your buttercream is just really loose. To fix that, you can either put it in a fridge and for about 30 minutes or so, and then once it's nice and firm up, you can whip it and it should fix itself. To prevent this issue, make sure to whip your meringue really well until if it reaches the stiff peaks, that means it's really whipped well and it cooled down. Ideally, your meringue should be at around 70-75 degrees Fahrenheit, about room temperature, right? And if you, when in doubt, always you can measure it by thermometer. And also make sure your butter is not super soft, right? Remember I told you to bring it to room temperature, but it doesn't mean it should be like super soft. Make sure it's nice, and when you press on it, it has a resistance to it. Like you push it and it gets dent, but it's not like, doesn't go sink in right away. The next very common issue is broken meringue, like it's separated. And that's very normal. When you're adding the butter one at a time, halfway, it will look really like separated, curdled, very worrisome, but don't worry, just keep faith, keep adding the butter and then whip it until after you add all the butter. And then your buttercream will become nice and smooth again. If you're whipping it and it's still not working and it still looks curdled, that means your butter might have been too cold. If that happens, you can let it sit at room temperature for a little bit, or you can warm it up over simmering water like in bain-marie, or you can, I know some people also run a hair dryer around the sides of the bowl to warm it up, and then you can whip it. It should become nice and smooth again. Another issue, one last thing, is if you are making vanilla buttercream and your buttercream is a little too yellow and you want nice and white buttercream like this one, add a streak of very small, tiny streak of violet color, food coloring. So what I do is I just dip my toothpick into gel violet food coloring and then just wipe it on the buttercream and then whip it. The violet and yellow is direct opposite on the color wheel and they offset each other. So your yellow buttercream turns into like a little cooler color. So that's how you tweak yellow buttercream. But ideally you want to use nice, good quality butter, which is usually tend to be paler color, and with that you will have pretty close to white buttercream, but that violet food coloring will do the trick, the rest of the trick. So now I'll show you in the next slide how I pipe this buttercreams, and you can see the texture and everything in there. And thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or if you learned something new, as always, drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.